What is going on, guys? My name is WolfSickness and welcome everybody to another video of mine. So today is the day, guys, that I'm going to be showing you the best settings for Call of Duty Modern Warfare in 2021. So obviously the first step that you have to do is go down to the options right down there, go to graphics right here, and time to show you the settings. So first of all, I do actually use full screen borderless. The main reason behind this is just that I like tabbing out games, and if you do full screen versus full screen borderless, you might lose like 1 FPS, what's basically nothing. Make sure your display monitor is obviously the one that you're playing your games on. Display adapter, make sure that isn't on like an IGPU or anything. I just have a Vega 64, so it's just set to that because I am running a 3600 XT and a Vega 64, so very nice combination. So make sure the refresh rate is actually set to what your refresh rate is, because you don't want to be playing at like 60 hertz when you could be playing at 144. Render resolution, sometimes this goes down to like 66 when you first launch up a game, so if you feel like your game is looking a bit bad, then this is the first thing to check. But if you are losing frames and let's say you're playing on like a laptop or something, then I would say this is the first thing to change. Just like 90% and just keep going down until you're on a good enough frame rate that you're happy with. Aspect ratio, make sure it's on automatic, because then basically it will look at your monitor and say, okay, what's the aspect ratio? Most monitors are 16:9, but if you've got an ultra wide or something, then they will be different. Make sure you do turn off VSync, as VSync actually does put like input delay into your game, what isn't gonna make you like a pro player, is it? But make sure you do have a custom frame rate limit. So mine is actually on 300, just so I could show you how many frames I'll be getting in game, but I would recommend to set it just below your monitor refresh rate. Reason is, if you have like a FreeSync or a G-Sync monitor, it's actually going to take an account of that, because let's say if, for example, my monitor is 144 hertz, but if I'm getting 180 FPS or something in game, then it's going to be like, okay, Kieran, you're getting 180 FPS, but FreeSync isn't going to work one bit. Basically, it's going to make your gameplay look so much more stable. So if you've got 144 hertz display, I would recommend 141 cap for your gameplay. In the menu and out of focus, I just make sure that's 60, because obviously my videos and streams are in 60 FPS. And what's the point of rendering your like menu in 144 FPS? It's not really going to help me beneficially, and it saves on GPU power. So yeah, just make sure all of that is like that. Display gamma, make sure it's on 2.2. I think the other one, as it says right there, is just for a TV. So yeah, scroll down, and these are my settings, guys. So I put texture resolution to low. I've seen low versus like normal, I think it's called. If I just go there, yeah, it's normal. Basically, there is a tiny bit of like texture quality difference, but the frame rate, like you lose about 25% frame rate, so it's honestly not worth it. And this video is about frames per second, yo. Next one is texture filter, and it's stroke pick. I think that is how you say it. Make sure that is on low. The reason behind it, you can see that it's like a little bit meshed together. Basically, if an enemy was on the floor, you'll be able to see the enemy better if there was a mesh service versus really detailed, because they could be blending in. Like every single second counts in frame, like FPS games, you know. Particle quality, no idea how this works, but if you put it on high, you get more frames. So do that. It looks better and you get more frames. Bullet impacts and sprays, make sure that is classed as enabled. No difference on your frame rate at all. And let's say if someone shot you, but you don't know what angle, you can look at the wall behind you and boom, you can see where or how close they were, you know, and you don't lose performance, so it's not really like you're losing anything from it. Tessellation, make sure that is to disabled. You lose quite a bit of frames from that, so honestly just disable, it's not worth it. And on-demand texture streaming, basically it downloads like better color details onto your hard drive while you're playing the game, and that's going to destroy your like actual frame rate and your internet too, because it's downloading. As you can read, it says download high quality texture to your hard disk. Don't understand this feature one bit. But yeah, make sure that is disabled. Streaming quality, I always put that to low. It's something to do with Warzone, but I don't play Warzone. But yeah, I haven't done any tests, but it's for Warzone. So like, does anybody even play Warzone? I don't know. But for obviously for best FPS, you get lower FPS in Battle Royale. So make sure this is on low anyway. Shadow map resolution. Shadows kills frame rate. So just put that on low, like 100%. Do not have that any higher than low, because shadows is what just kills your frame rate. Like I would probably get like 100 FPS instead of like 180 FPS. I think I do get. Cache spot shadows, make sure that is enabled, and make sure cache sun shadows is enabled as well. Basically, it uses your RAM. As long as you got about 16 gigabytes of RAM, then you should be all good. And this actually gives you higher frames, as it says it's stored in cache to speed up rendering of future frames, and exactly the same one for the shadows. And once you played the game a couple of times, you will be getting more frames per second, you know. So yeah, so particle lighting, make sure that is on low, as you're going to get more frames. And let's say if there's an explosion and it was on like the highest setting, like ultra or whatever it is, yeah, ultra right there, you can turn that back down to low. But basically, let's say if it was on ultra, you might not be able to see an enemy through that explosion, and they might kill you because they have theirs on low. It's all about that competitive game, you know. But yeah, next one is DirectX ray tracing. So basically this is only on Nvidia cards, but it like halves the frame rate, so do not do that one bit. Ambient occlusion, make sure that is disabled as well. It actually kills your frame rate, so yeah, make sure this is disabled. Next one is screen space reflection. Make sure that isn't disabled as well, as that is a big frame rate killer as well. So the next one is anti-aliasing. So I could get like 200 FPS easily using these settings, but I do use anti-aliasing. The only reason for this is because obviously I don't want my YouTube videos looking absolutely terrible, you know. But yeah, I do use SMAA2TX, but if you want that frames per second, then honestly just turn it off. Just turn it off 100%. But because I do YouTube videos and I don't want them looking really, really bad, and obviously on my streams as well, I turn it to one of the higher settings. The higher setting is that one. So there's a difference between filmic and just normal SMAA2TX. But yeah, if you want performance, even do it to 1 times. But you know, I make videos and I want them to look good, so that is why. Depth of field, make sure that is on disabled, otherwise you might not see people, because basically it makes stuff blurry, and why would you even want that? So make sure you have filmmaker strength on like all the way up to number 1, because if you do not, I've had it so many times before, basically you get a visual noise like around your actual crosshair and like your scope when you're zooming in. It looks so bad, honestly. I had this issue for like months and months and months, and then I just turned this up and then I was like, wow, it fixed it. Yeah, make sure that's on 1 and it doesn't affect a performance at all. And make sure you turn off motion blur, because why would you want motion blur? Like, it's just gonna be destroying your like visuals to actually physically see someone, you know? Like someone could be there, but the blur, you know? So worst setting ever, unless you're doing like cinematics, I guess. Film grain, make sure you put that to 0, otherwise it's gonna make your game look really grainy, and why would you want that, you know? Make sure you apply the settings right down there, guys, as well. But yeah, guys, that is actually the end of today's video. I hope that I've gone through those settings well enough and made you the best game of all time, guys. Remember, the gameplay that I'm currently showing you is with 2 times MSAA. You will get better results with like no AA, like anti-aliasing at all, but obviously I want the gameplay to look as best as possible for you guys. If I was playing by myself though, I would normally turn anti-aliasing off. But yes, guys, I hope that you guys enjoy the rest of the gameplay. I haven't played Call of Duty or even any games for months, so hopefully my gameplay doesn't suck too much. I remember I was like a god when I was playing like on stream and stuff. Like I never died and stuff, but I died quite a bit in these games. But yeah, thank you so much, guys, for watching. My name is Sickness. You got me absolutely awesome. I've got a 3600 XT and a Vega 64, so these are the FPS numbers for these. But yeah, if you have any troubles or anything, honestly, just leave a comment down below. I will respond instantly, yo. But yes, as I did say, guys, thank you so much for watching. My name is Sickness. You guys have been absolutely awesome. And I'll see you guys tomorrow for another video of mine. Peace out. Much love. Have a good one, guys. Happy streaming and happy gaming, yo. Dab out.
deployment.